There's a new kid on the block when it comes to dry suit seals, but are they any good? Hi, all of you awesome scuba divers out there. Welcome to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel, your favorite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Yet 𝐸𝐸, who make a wide range of seals and valves for scuba diving dry suits, released their 𝐸𝐿ASTISEALs, which are made from TPE. Now, when I started diving, it was latex or neoprene seals. Those were your only choices. In recent years, silicone has been another choice for dry suit seals, which are fairly polarizing. Some divers hate them. Personally, I quite like silicone seals because they're very quick to change. I've literally been kitted up for a dive and I can't remember what happened, but my cuff seal was damaged. So still with my BCD on, I managed to take the old one off, put the new one on and continue on the dive without affecting anyone else. So I do like silicone seals, and yeah, we've got a new one called TPE. So I figured I'd test out these new seals so that you can see what they're like. Scuba.com is your one-stop shop for everything scuba related. Whether you're a seasoned diver or you're just starting out, they've got the gear, the expertise and the passion to fuel your underwater adventures. Scuba.com offers an incredible selection of dive gear from the most trusted brands. Think masks, fins, wetsuits, regulators and dive computers, all selected by experts to ensure top performance and reliability. No matter your diving style or budget, you'll find exactly what you need to explore the ocean's wonders with confidence. What truly sets Scuba.com apart though is their team of real divers who understand the needs of the diving community. They're not just selling boxes, they're sharing their passion for diving and helping you make more informed choices every step of the way. And of course, let's not forget their unbeatable service. Enjoy fast shipping, easy returns and price match guarantees to ensure you get the best deals. Plus, Scuba.com's Dive Club gives you exclusive access to discounts, special offers and a community of fellow enthusiasts. So whether you're planning your next dive trip, upgrading your gear, or just looking for some expert advice, dive in with confidence at Scuba.com. So TPE stands for Thermoplastic Elastomers, which is a fancy word for like a plastic rubber blend. It presents a lot like silicone or a latex seal. One fundamental benefit of TPE is that you can color it, as you can tell. Silicone can also be colored, but latex is typically black. So far, I've seen 5 colors of the new TPE. The silicone ones, you tend to see the standard black. You've got this orange, I've seen blue, and maybe some others. But with this one, they have a whole lineup straight out of the gate. They've got black, blue, orange, pink, and olive, I think, which is kind of like an army green. Another interesting benefit outside of scuba diving is that the TPE is actually a little bit easier to recycle. The thermoplastic part of the name means that they can be melted down and like remolded, which is pretty cool. I think silicone can be recycled, but it's nowhere near as straightforward. TPE is a bit more recyclable, but I'm far from an expert in these kind of matters. My first impressions are that the seals are, they feel a bit more rubbery than silicone. Silicone has that almost like slick and like stretchy kind of feel to it, whereas the TPE is a bit more matte, is kind of the best way I can describe it. A bit more like a washing up glove without that like internal flocking. But as far as stiffness or like stretchiness, very comparable to silicone. I actually did like a blind test to kind of see if I could tell the difference. There's a little bit of difference, but not much, honestly. They remind me very much of the standard thickness silicone, not as stiff as the heavy duty silicone cuff seals that we have nowadays, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a HD version and probably a bottleneck version of this as well in the not too distant future. But as far as like stiffness, there's really not much in it, and like stretchiness, silicone stretches a decent amount, TPE stretches a decent amount, so plenty to get over your wrist. They of course recommend using a talcum powder as a lubricant when you're donning and doffing, well, mainly donning, but more for storage as well to protect the TPE. It states that it comes with a coating that releases from the seal, which I can confirm when it's brand new out of the box. I've been using this one, but I'll show you when it was like brand new. You get this kind of white flaking effect, which is perfectly normal, and yeah, you just replace it with talc. Personally, I tend to talc my seals between dives anyway, so that's not an issue. They go on and on, just like usual silicone or latex seals, and they're just as comfortable as silicone from new. Latex cuff often need to be like stretched out, but I was quite happy just wearing these out of the water when they were brand new and they weren't cutting off blood flow to my hands or anything. Installing them felt a little bit tougher in my ring system. With most silicone cuffs, I'll just pop them straight in, and maybe I was being a bit more delicate worrying about these because I only had 2 for test, but even with some lubrication it felt quite chunky to like squeeze it into position without it like bunching up. Once it's in place, it's solid. And my silicone seals have all those kind of like wonky pinches from where they're pinching, so I don't think there's a huge amount of difference there neither. Price wise, I found these TPE seals at £22.50 for the pair. Silicone seals are typically somewhere in the 30 something kind of price range. Latex are like 10 quid a pair, but as a silicone alternative, these TPE are a touch cheaper. Ultimately, they are very similar to silicone. It's hard to get a long-term comparison because they are brand new, but in general, TPE excels in elasticity, abrasion resistance and chemical resistance, making it suitable for flexible, durable products. On the other hand, silicone based superior heat resistance and chemical inertness. Now, if you're diving a dry suit, then chances are that high temperatures aren't a common issue for you whilst you're using them. But of course, do think about how you're storing your dry suit. If for whatever reason you're storing your dry suit in like a greenhouse during the summertime, then yeah, they might start to melt. But if you're storing it somewhere cool and dark, then it wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, as far as an actual cuff seal, I'm going to swap my silicone seals for these TPE ones, and I'll let you know if they do fall apart for whatever reason. But from what I've seen and felt so far, they're a very strong alternative to silicone, and they're a cheaper alternative as well. The main problem is that one, they're new, so you may struggle to find a dive center that actually stocks them. 2, until they gain popularity, they're just in standard cone shapes, not like bottleneck or anything else. But if you're fine with cones, fine. And of course, there's no heavy duty version yet. If that's something that you require from your silicone cuff seals, then you might have to wait for the TPE to be molded into a thicker version, as well as smaller sizes. My wrists, I like to think, are fairly standard sized, and I haven't needed to trim these at all. I don't usually for my silicone, and these ones were perfectly comfortable. But if you do have smaller wrist sizes, I haven't seen the smaller size yet. Maybe once these are like shown to be a commercial success, the brands will start to bring out the smaller sizes as well. But for the time being, you get the standard size. If you have any thoughts on them, by all means let me know. I'm by far from a TPE thermoplastic expert, so if there's anything that I've missed, by all means let me know down in the comment section. And of course, remember to check out today's sponsor, Scuba.com, the definition of a one-stop dive shop with a huge online presence. I'll pop links up into the in the corner and down in the description as well. But yeah, if you're on the fence about whether it's worth investing in TPE, yeah, I'd recommend giving them a shot because they're quite hard to determine the difference other than that like sort of matte finish to a more gloss of a silicone. Otherwise, as far as stretchiness and everything else, they're very comparable. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.